So in this lecture today we will discuss about the carrier current production of a transmission line. Basically this carrier current production scheme is used for the long transmission lines because the length of lines are very long, so we have to inject a very high frequency signal into the lines for production system. That's why the carrier current production scheme is mainly used for the production of long transmission line. In the carrier current production scheme, the phase angle of the current at the two faces of the line are compared instead of the actual current, and then the phase angle of the line decides whether the fault is internal or external. So as we know in the previous cases that our production system always operates if the fault is within the protected zone, and if fault is outside the protected zone, then our production system will not operate. The same thing is applicable here for the carrier current production scheme of transmission lines also. So this is the actual diagram of carrier current production scheme. We have a three-phase system, see R, Y and B phase here. These three-phase system or transmission line have been considered here, and the circuit breakers has been provided at both ends, that is this end also and here also, for production of transmission lines. It means outside the circuit breaker, that is this side, this will be the unprotected area, and same way beyond the circuit breaker, that is at this side, this will be a unprotected area. So what area which we are going to protect the system of the transmission line, that is between this circuit breaker 1 and circuit breaker 2, these three-phase lines area which we are going to protect from the carrier current production scheme. So in this diagram we see that there are various components had been incorporated in this circuit diagram. That is, there is a line trap, there is a coupling capacitor, there is a transmitter, and further there is a control circuit. Here also there is a two receiver blocks, and from which the output circuit is connected. Here also this is a coupling capacitor, and these are the line traps, and further these are the transmitters and transmitters. So we see that at both inside there are transmitters, that is one transmitter is here and other transmitter is here. It means signal from this side transmitter will be transmitted into the line or through the line towards the other end, and the receiver blocks will receive this signal at other end. Similarly, if there is some problem at this side, then this side transmitter will transmit the signal into the line, and this side receiver will receive the signal. So what this purpose of receiver? Receiver is that is receiving a high frequency signal and then converting into appropriate DC signal to provide the working of a production system, that is the output circuit side. And here the control circuit which has been connected through the transmitter, so that this control circuit will always try to transmit the high frequency carrier signals into the line, so that if there is any fault created between the protected zone, then that can be detected and the production system will be working for the production of transmission line. Now here what we see, that here there are two main components of this carrier current production scheme, that is the coupling capacitor and other is the line trap. So basically this line trap is tuned to very high frequency signals, and this line trap offered very high impedance to the carrier signals. So because of that, this line traps will try to restrict the entering of the carrier high frequency carrier signal beyond the protected zone, that is outside the protected zone. It means line traps will help to maintain the high carrier frequency signal within the protected zone area. They will restrict the flow of this high frequency signal outside the protected area. And what is the coupling capacitor? The purpose of coupling capacitor is to connect a high frequency signal into the line. So this coupling capacitor provides a low impedance to the high frequency carrier signal. That's why if it provides a low impedance, then that signal which has been transmitted from here, that will be connected to the lines easily, and that can be sent or that can flow from one end to another end. Similarly, this side also we have a transmitter, we have a coupling capacitor, and we have a line trap. So both sides we have provided a line traps and the coupling capacitor and transmitters. Further, the transmitters are connected to the control circuits at both sides, and in between we have a receiver blocks. So always whenever any carrier signal is transmitted from any end, whether from this side or from this side, so these signals are received through receiver, and this receiver converts into an appropriate DC signal, and that DC signal is fed to the control circuit for controlling the production system. So this is what about the explanation of this carrier current production scheme diagram. Now we will see how this system will work. So the carrier current receiver receives the carrier current from the transmitter at the distance of the line, and the receiver converts the received carrier current into a DC voltage, and that can be used in a relay or other circuit that performs any desired function. This already I have discussed, and same thing is explained here. Now line trap is inserted between the bus bar and the connection of coupling capacitor to the line. Now it is a parallel LC network tuned to resonance at high frequency. The traps restrict the carrier current to the unprotected section so as to avoid interference from the with or other adjacent carrier current channels. I discussed that these line traps always restrict the flow of high frequency signal into unprotected zone. Now it also avoids the loss of carrier current signal to the adjoining power circuit. So this is the purpose of line traps which has been provided in the circuit diagram. Now coupling capacitor connects the high frequency equipments to one of the line conductor and simultaneously separate the power equipment from the high power line voltage. Already we have discussed that these coupling capacitors provide the low impedance to the high frequency carrier current signals, so that these high frequency current signals can be easily connected to the lines. Normal current will be able to flow only through the line conductor, while the high current carrier will circulate over the line conductor fitted with the high frequency traps through the trap capacitor and the ground. So it is clear that there are two main components in the carrier current production scheme, that is the coupling capacitor and the line traps. So coupling capacitor always offers the low impedance to the high frequency signals, so that these high frequency signals can be easily connected to the lines, and the line traps are provided in series with the line at both the ends. So purpose of line traps is to restrict the flow of high frequency signal into the unprotected area. That is, these high frequency signals will be limited within the protected zone. Now, methods of the carrier current production are different methods of the carrier current production, and basic form of the carrier current production are directional comparison production and phase comparison production. So there are two methods which has been provided for the carrier current production scheme, that is the directional comparison production method and the phase comparison production method. In directional comparison production method, we evaluate the magnitude of the current at the both ends, and there have a comparison to actuate a signal for the production system. However, in case of phase comparison production scheme, we compare the phase of the current at both ends, and depending upon the phase relationship, we actuate the signal for the production system. So here in this scheme, we are going to discuss about the phase comparison production scheme, how it works. So let us go into the next slide. These are the signal responses which has been shown here for production of the transmission line with carrier current production scheme. Let us consider here, this is a line, this is a single conductor line, and we have this side circuit breaker A or end A, and this side two circuit breakers are provided at the end B. And further there are 2 points which has been shown here, that is the point C and point D. So point D is outside the protected zone, and point C is the point or fault will be created here within the protected zone. So how the system will work in this carrier current production scheme, that has been explained with the help of these signals. That is, this signal is meant for network voltage at A for fault at C or D. What does it mean? That at end A, you will get always a voltage in this type of pattern, whether fault at C or D. That is, whether fault is at C, that is internal fault, or fault as D, that is the external fault. So let it be any fault, that is at C or D, we will get a signal like this at end A. Now this is the carrier current signal transmitted from A to B for fault at C or D. So for each positive cycle, there is a current transmitted from the end A, whether the fault lies at point C or fault lies at point D. So we must always be sure that whether the fault is at C, in that is internal fault, or the fault is at D, that is the external fault, we will get a current and voltage signal which had been fed from end A in this pattern. We will always get these signals in these patterns. Now, network voltage at B for fault as D. Now we are talking about if there is a fault at point D, so what will be the network voltage at the point B? So what we see that here this is the voltage which is just opposite, that is 180 out of phase to the previous signal where the voltage was at the point A. This was the voltage at the point A. Now if fault is at D, then the voltage at point B is like this, that is 180 out of phase to the previous voltage compared to point A. Now this is the carrier current signal transmitted from B to A. Now once fault is at point D, then the current signal transmitted from point B towards the point A for each positive half cycle as per the network voltage at point B. So up to here we are clear. Now we are talking about that network voltage at point B for fault at C. That is, if there is a fault at C, then what will be the network voltage at B? So this is the network voltage at B, that is if fault is inside, then the voltage phase relationship is same as in case of previous, that is whether the fault was at C or at point D, this voltage was transmitted at the end A. The same voltage is available at B for fault at C. Now this is the carrier current signal transmitted from B to A for fault at C. So again, with respect to this voltage waveform, for each positive cycle, the current is transmitted from the end B towards the A for each positive cycle. So how the production system will work? It means it will compare the phase relationship always, and if fault is at D, so just compare to these signals with these signals, that is here current was transmitted for each positive cycle, and once fault was at D, then also current was transmitted for each positive cycle. It means for all cycles, that is for this positive and this negative, always current was available in the channel. Just see, for this positive cycle this current was transmitted, and for this positive cycle this current was transmitted. So we can say that for positive cycle this current is transmitted, and for negative cycle this current is transmitted for negative voltage. It means if the fault is at D, then there will be always current transmitted in the line. There will not be any discontinuity of the current signal which has been transmitted through the lines. But if the fault is at point C, so just see, if compared to the first waveforms and last waveforms, for here positive cycle current is transmitted, and here also for positive cycle current is transmitted. But for negative cycle here there is no transmission of the current, and here also for this negative voltage there is no transmission of the current. It means there is a interruption of the current flow in the channel or in the line. So as soon as there is a interruption of the current flow observed in the line, then this will be sensed by the production system by comparing the phase relationship, and signal will be actuated to the production system to actuate the circuit breaker for isolate the faulty section. So that is how, with the help of these waveforms, we have discussed that how the carrier current production scheme works for production of the long transmission line, and what is the phase comparison method, how it works for the production of the transmission line. This was all about the carrier current production scheme.